to make a treat tea light decoration. Now I've got all my bits and pieces. I haven't made this before. I've just designed it, and I designed it with my paper template. So without further ado, we're going to get on and make it. So hopefully it's going to work out. Right, so I've got a piece of real red, and let me do my trim around. It measures 2.5 by 8 7/8. We're going to score on the 8 7/8. So we're going to put it in at 3 3/8. So 3 3/8, and we'll score that. And then 5 3/8. So 5 3/8, and score that. And then 6 1/8. So you've got a trimmer like me, you're going to have to move your arm out. So it just caught in the way. So that's 6 1/8. And then 8 1/8. Let me pop that out of the way. So 8 1/8. So that's 8 1/8. Okay, there we go. So just move my trimmer out of the way for the moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is bring all these up. So the narrow score line at the bottom, we're going to bring that up and burnish that with our, I've just had it, what have I done with it? There it is, with our scoring tool, bone folder. And then the next one we're going to bend up, and then the next one will bend up, and then the final one will bring that down. Okay, so we've got that bringing down. Okay, right, now you've got it so that it will fold like this. We are not going to glue it because we need to first put the DSP on this piece. So we've got a piece of DSP that measures, oh, I haven't cut that one. Oh, fancy me not cutting that one. I thought I'd been all prepared and I haven't. I forgot to cut that piece there. So I did put one back in the box. So whether it's the right size, let me just bring that out. And that's why I've got a measurement like that. Yeah, that's going to be enough. Right, so let me get my ruler. So it's going to be, the width is going to be 2 3/8. So let me bring in my trimmer. So we want it at 2 3/8. So 2 3/8. I'm just going to cut that at 2 3/8, and then that will be 1 7/8, because I believe that's 2 inches. Just double check. No, it is 1 7/8. So I want it 1 3/4. So I need that 1 3/4. So let's just get that at 1 3/4. So I just need to write that down on the instructions. So that was 1 and, let's check that, 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 by 2 3/8. There we go. For top of box. I'll know what that means then. There we go. There we go. So we've got that. Okay. So we're going to glue that on first onto this top piece. So you've brought all that round, and this is going to have equal increments. So I can open it back up now because I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to glue it on here. Now I'm using, and I do think these are just available online, is I'm using the circle punch. So I'm sure it's available online, not in the catalogues anymore, but just online. So I'm just going to make sure I've got equal increments all around there. That's it. And what I do is it's 1.5, and what I've done is I've already punched out a hole. So just get some scrap piece, punch out a hole, and then use that to line up. So just make sure, well, it won't matter which way you do it. I'm just going to put this now so it's got equal increment top and bottom and both sides. Now I'm just going to put a dab of glue just to make it just sticky. So I'll just put dab glue just to make it sticky on there, so it'll just hold in place for me so that I can line up my circle in there. Once you've got all that lined up, you're happy that you've got it lined up, just pop that out. Then we can just remove that, and I can just take off the glue there in case I want to use that for anything else. That can be saved. Okay, so use your template to do that so that you have now got an even border all the way round. So that is the 1.5 inch punch. Now I think this is really pretty now. In the stylish shapes, I'll tell you what number it is. So we'll pull these out, tell you. So in the stylish shapes, is it that one? Yeah, it's that one. It's the 3rd one up or the 4th one down, depending on which way you want to do it. And that is just absolutely, look at that, that's beautiful. It's just a fine detail to go round the outside of there, but I just thought that's so pretty. And also out of the stylish shapes, I've used the rectangle, the fatter rectangle of the tags. So let's move those out of the way. So we'll just, while it's flat, we're going to glue that on there. And just, there's just a fine bit, but it just adding that detail that just adds a little bit more to your project. So of course this will fit exactly round, so I can stick it in and stick my fingers on there. So that's beautiful now. There. Okay. Now I'm going to stick this down. So your narrow end, now we're going to bring this round. So I'm not going to stick tear and tape on, I am going to glue it on. So I'm going to, you stick that down like that. I think this will work. Put that on there and that comes up like that. Okay, and I'll just like that excess glue, got a bit too much on there, just rub that off. Now, that's it. So it's easy to fix that on. Yeah, I've got a little bit of the glue there. Okay, so that will stick on there. So lovely, and just make sure your edges line up perfectly. Okay, so that's how that will sit. Then we've got a piece of DSP that measures your 2.5 in length. So the 2.5s in length and 2 3/8 in width. But before we put those on, we're going to use my favourite punch. I've used this. I just think it's such a handy punch for decorative edges. So I'm going to pop this in here, and remember we want it the same, so I'm just going to do the other side now. Make sure it's properly positioned in, and then we've got that lovely finished edge there. And so what we've done to that, we're going to do to our DSP. So just make sure again that's right. So I'm going to put in exactly the same and then spin that over, and then we've got that. That's going to sit there and have a border all the way around there. So I just think it's so lovely, and it's I don't know whether it's called the Very Best Trio Punch or something like that, and I just think it's absolutely wonderful. I use it no end for tags and handbags and all sorts of tamate. So this is so far. We will decorate that in a minute, but I want to get on and make the drawer. So we're going to put a drawer in here. So we need a piece that measures 3, and I'm sorry this is going now into 16s, but if you put it in at 3 1/4 and then move it back, let me show you on my trimmer. So if you've got your 3 1/4, sorry, not going to move it back, you're going to push it on one. So 3, if you do 3 1/4, then just push it on your one mark. That brings you to 13/16. Then if you put it on, you want it to be by 4 5/16. So if we go to the 4 and we go to 1/4 and then push it on one, that will give you the 5/16. So this actual piece, I'll tell you again, it measures 3 13/16 by 4 5/16. Okay, and we are now going to score this at 3/8. So we're just going to pop it in and score it at 3/8 on all 4 sides. So I just like to make it simple, and we'll go all the way round on 3/8. So you've only got one thing that you're remembering, 3/8. So you're doing 3/8 on all 4 sides. So 3/8 again. Okay, and once you've done it on all 4 sides, you're then going to push it along to 15/16. So again, if you put it to the 1 inch mark, so if you put it to the 1 inch mark and then just bring it back that one little mark, that's your 15/16. So just position that at 15/16, and then we're just going to score on all 4 sides at 15/16. Okay, 15/16 and 15/16. Okay, there we go. So that's all 4 sides. Let me just move that now. And we're now going to burnish all our score lines. Okay, so do each one, do each of our score lines. Okay. There we go. Okay, so when I make boxes, I sometimes do windmills, sometimes do opposites. So what we're going to do is cut down. So we'll cut down past the first score line to the second score line. So we're cutting down, keeping it straight to that second score line. Then I go in and wedge down to that second score line. I wedge up to that second score line, spin it, and then cut off my tab like that. I then notch the outside, so I'm notching the outside. Now I always like to strengthen my boxes, so this is why I always like to do an added piece that will go over on the box. So I'm now going to cut up a wedge, so that is, there's the first score line, that's the second score line. I've just gone in beyond that score line so that that cuts me a little wedge. Then I'm going to wedge at this side, but I'm only wedging to that first score line. Then I'm cutting down the next score line. Okay, but then I will come in and I will notch or wedge, whatever you like to say, the next one. I'll wedge and knot the other, spin it around, cut off that first score line, then go in and wedge down to that first score line. Let me just make sure I've got that, and then spinning it round, I'm wedging and then cutting straight down the second bit to the score line, then going back in and wedging that one, and then I will wedge this one, spin it again and cut off the tab. I'll then hold it there and cut down in a wedge, only to the wedge, only to the first score line, don't go cutting off your tabs. Then I will go in again and I'm going to wedge this first bit and then down straight to the second score line, but I will go in again on the tab side and cut the wedge, and then I will cut the wedge on the other side of the tab, spin it around, cut off there, spin it around and wedge. So this is what I mean now by windmill. Okay, I will show you. So can you see? It's like a windmill how I've done my tabs. That's sometimes the easiest way to do it, because you're just spinning it and you just do it like that. So I like to do it that way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on one of your tabs, doesn't matter which one you start with. I'm going to put glue on that tab, and I like to wipe my glue. So seeing I'm wiping my glue so that that goes right to the edge, and I'm going to hold that in position just for a second or two. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to put it on the second one, and then again I like to just bring it and wipe it so that's getting glue right to the very edge. Hold it, and then again while I'm holding that, I'm going to just put glue on this bit, and again bring that in. I'm just wiping it. I'm going to bring that one up, so I'm lining up those edges. And then our last tab, let's just bring that, not stuck down yet, and don't worry because they will come up, spring up, but they will settle down in a minute. So the last one, so it starts to go tackier and then they'll hold more in place. So get it there, and get it there. Okay, now I start to put the glue on this outer tab. This is when it starts to hold more together. So I like to go in, tuck this in, make sure it's there, tuck it in, and then I like to go in with my bone folder and just really press that down, and I then peg it. So if I use red liner tape, then I would it would stick down, but because I'm totally gluing it, I'm going to use my little pegs just to hold it. Okay, then go into the next one, bring that out so that we've got this going off, and then I bring down my bone folder, and then bring in the pegs again to hold that down. Oops, so there you see that one's sprung undone. That's trouble with these little pegs. I don't know where I got them from, but they are tiny pegs, and so they They are liable for springing a bit, so I'm always having to mend them, which is a nuisance, but I think they were very, very cheap. Can't remember where I got them from. Right, so let's just really spread that glue and then bring back some more pegs for this side. Glue that down. There we go. And there we go. And I just sometimes go in with my fingers just to absolutely make sure that they're gluing down. Well, the final one now. Okay. And then we'll come back and do something else to this in a minute. Okay. There we go. Oh. Right, that drawer will have to be adjusted. I thought when I made it, well, I've not made it high enough, so that'll have to be adjusted. I'll have to make a new drawer, I think. I want that higher. Yeah, definitely want that a lot higher. What was I doing? So we'll have to adjust that. I'll have to make new adjustments. So how much is it short by? This is because I designed it, and when I did it in the paper version, that must have I think, oh, my paper version's narrower. Oh dear, that's what I did wrong. I made two versions, and this was the narrow version, and I must have worked it out on this one and not my proper one, so sorry about that. I'll get some more red card and let's work it out. You can now see how I do the designing process of the boxes. I thought sure I've got a big piece of the, oh, it's there, can't see, there we go. I've got a big piece of red, and I'll just have to work it out. So the box actual flat side, this is correct. So my box measures 2 3/8, just under, I think. But that should fit in. Let me just double check that that fitted in. So what I tend to do is I'll just check the base. I'm sure the base fits in fine. Yeah, the base fits in fine. That fits in fine. Oh, what's in there? Oh, I'm not happy at all. I've gone wrong with that. That measurement, sorry folks, this measurement's not right. This one worked out. You see, I've designed it in paper but not done it in card, and the paper version has worked. Not scored that right. That should have been 3/4 just there, and I've done it at 3/4 in the back. Or is it that's wrong? Well, this is not going to work anyway, so let's pull this apart. Okay, what did I do wrong? So that's 2 inches there. That's right, because the top and the bottom should be 2 inches, and that's not quite 2 inches, is it? I thought that was too narrow at the top, so that's what's gone wrong. Right, let's get some red card. Let's start again. This has gone disastrous. This is what happens. We design, make mistakes so that we give it to you finally perfect. So I need a bigger piece, so I'll have to use a whole card. So we need it to be 2.5. So that's right. So the 2.5 is right. So the 2.5 is right. The 2.5 is right. And the 8 7/8 should be right. The 8 7/8 should be right. Okay, so that should be right. Now the first part of it, that's definitely right. So the first part is my first one, which is 3 3/8. So that's definitely right. 3 3/8 is definitely right. Okay, so that is right there. 3 3 3/8. Now adding 2 inches onto that, because we need this base bit here of 2 inches. So the next bit is correct, which is 5 3/8, because that's just adding our 2 inches on. So 5 3/8 is definitely correct. Okay, and then we have got the side bit, and the side bit, where's my previous design? So well, let's do it on here. Let's see there, and that bit should then be there. Let's have a look what that is. Well, that is definitely, let's just measure that. Let's just measure. So that's 3/4, and that, and then that would be less than 3/4. Right, so we want 3/4. See what I designed it on was a lint form, and I just want to make sure that my lint, yes, 3/4. I do want it 3/4, so I need to go 3/4 from that last score line. So 3/4 is 6/8, so that's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. So that should definitely be right. So that was right, and then we should have 2 inches from that. So that is 6 1/8. So that should be 8 1/8. 8 1/8. There we go. Okay, so your last bit of tab is not, oh, it looks 3, yeah, that is 3/4 there. So why did it go wrong? So I'll be careful when I fold this now. So we'll do the same principle. So we will do all our score lines. So they were the right measurements that I gave you. I just failed when I put it together. That's what I did wrong. So let's make sure I don't go wrong this time. Okay, so we've got to make sure that we have that there, so it doesn't quite go down to the bottom. That there. Now that drawer doesn't fit, does it? Let's just double check on my drawer, because I still think my drawer is, and I've lost my drawer. What have I done with my drawer? It's one of those days today. Oh, it's on the floor. Let's see. There, the drawer still, it's the right width, but it's not the right height. So I'm going to have to improve that. But what we will do is we'll get some more DSP. And let's see if I can do it right this time. So we like to have a bit of fun, don't we? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so the DSP will be right measurements. So I did give you the right measurements, but it's got to be, when you're putting it together, be careful. Right, so again, the DSP is 2.5 in the drop of it. So let's do the 2.5. So that's 2.5. Let's just put that to one side, by 2 3/8. 2 3/8. 2 3/8. Okay. And we're going to do it step by step very carefully, because I don't want to make the same mistake. I must have scored it wrong, because that is now perfectly lining up. So I definitely must have scored that other one wrong. So huge apologies for that. I was right in what I did. Right, we've got that, and the other DSP I didn't stick on. So we just want this one, and I'm so pleased that I wrote it down. So it was 1 3/4. So, but now just let me not make the mistake with the DSP. So it's just under, yeah, it's 2 inches. Yeah, so 1 7/8 is correct. 1 7/8. Did I say 1 7/8? No, it's 2 3/8 wide by 1 7/8. So we want that 1 7/8 by 2 3/8. So I just need to amend that to 1 7/8. 7/8. In case I make any more. Okay. Right. And it's got to be 2 3/8. There we go. Okay. So let's try again then. So there are my 2 DSPs I didn't use. Move those out of the way. So again, bring in the trio punch. We're going to just quickly do those. You saw me do this earlier, so just make sure I've got that. Right, that's it. That's the right way, isn't it? So that there, and then that there. Okay, so I'm going to place this on here. So we'll try and catch up to where we got to. So give it equal increments all the way round. That's it. And we need to place the DSP on here again. And do the process again. So we put that on there, equal increments all the way round. And then we bring in that, I can't find my white, there it is. So I just put a splodge of glue on the back of that. Position this in the middle. So, oops, that's not quite, let's push it over a bit. Just let me know that it's not quite even for me. It's one of those days. You'll get them. There we go, just pop that now, front and back on each side. Bring in your punch again. Oops, that moved. just get that. Look at that. Yeah, I think that's right. Just hold it this time as it goes. That's doing it again. I'm sure it moved again. Or is it in my imagination now? So I'm fearing more things will go wrong. So there we go. Right. Peel that off and then just wipe off our excess glue. So as I say, we can use that on another project if we want to. Right, so again, I'm going to glue this, and hopefully this time it glues in the right place. So let's just see, let's just fold it there. That's better. So if you line up, if you fold, you've got one score line there, two score lines there, and the bottom, and you just put that so that it's level with the bottom there. Bend it over, and that will fetch it up, and that then will be in the right position, and that will give you the square proper image you should get. Now, because I don't think I can peel this off here. That might come off. That's it. Just managed to rescue that. So I showed you how I did that. So just re-glue that in position, and then I'll show you how I work boxes out. So pop that in there. Nicely rescued view. Okay. There. So that's it. Right, we'll put that to one side a minute, and then I'll show you my box process. So I've got a bit of scrap piece of paper here, and what I tend to do is the box that fits inside, I need it to be slightly less than the area of this going in here. So the area is 2.5, so I'm going to take a 16th off that 2.5, so this will make this going along here. So that is 2.5, and I need a 16th off it. So 2.5 is 8/16, so we take 1/16 off, so that makes it 2 7/16. Okay, and then the depth of the box, okay, depth of the box here, this bit here measures 2 inches. So again, we need to take a 16th off. So if you've got the 2 inches here, and we need to take that 16th off, we know that 16/16 make an inch. So taking one off is your 15/16. So that is going to be 1 15/16. Right, now we decide on the depth of the box. And again, the depth of the box is 3/4. So we've got to take a 16th off the depth of the box. So what I tend to do is I tend to draw, and I do it very basic, this, I just draw this, look. And again, this here, these will be there as well, but I don't fuss really, or I do it like that. And I decide on what the depth of the box got to be. So as I said, that was 3/4, and I've got to take a 16th off. So that is 12/16. We're taking a 16th off, so that's going to be 13/16. So we've got to put 13/16. Now whatever we do to one side, we've got to do to the other. So we've got to make 13/16 this way. And we've also got to do it this way, so that's got to be 13/16 there, and we've got to do 13/16 here. Now, because I always like to reinforce my boxes so they're really sturdy, I like to then draw an extra piece on all my 4 sides. There we go, all my 4 sides. And in this case, I just put on an extra, and I put 3/8 of an inch. So I did 3/8. Now, because we're working in 16s, I'm giving you a bit of a maths lesson here, aren't I? I used to teach maths. I love maths. So the 13/16s, because as I say, we're working in all 16s, we need really to put this in 16s, and then when we do our adding, it all works out. So because this, again, is 3/8, instead of putting 3/8, we need, so there is 3/8, we can count the 16s. So we've got 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16, 5/16, 6/16. So we want 6/16 there, 6/16 there, 6/16 there, and 6/16 here. Okay, so what I do is this width across here is our 2 7/16. We've got to add, because we've got to put this bit on, we've got to put our 13/16, and we need this little bit here. So that is our 6/16. And then we've got this bit, so don't forget this bit. This is 13/16, and then we've got to add our 6/16. So what we can do is we can ignore this one for the minute, and we can ignore all the bottom numbers because it's all 16. So all we've got to do is do the addition here. So that is 19/16. That is 19/16. So, and then we've got our 7. So if we took 2 off, that's 7. That'd leave us 5 there. We could put 1 on there and 1 on there to make it 20 each side. So that'd be 25/16. Now I've got to check that because I'm working under on the camera. I just want to make sure my maths is absolutely spot on, else it will ruin our box and we won't be able to do it correctly. So that makes it 19. That makes it 20. Oh, look, you see what I did? 20 add 20 makes 40. What was I thinking? That's why I say check your maths. What they say is measure twice, cut once. So check your maths. So that is 20. That is 20. I took the 2 off there because I borrowed 1 from either side, and we got 5. So I've got 45/16. Well, I know 2/16 are 32. So that's going to give me 2 whole ones. And then 32, I've got 8. And that makes 13. So that's 13/16 left. Okay. And then we've got to add on our 2 here. So that has got to be 4 and 13/16 now. 4 and 13/16. Now I'm just going to double check against my my other piece of paper. 13/16, 3 and 13/16, so it should have been that extra inch there, look. Yes, so that's where I went wrong. I did some miscalculation somewhere. Right, so now we know part of our card now needs to be 4 and 13/16, and then we've got to do the other sides now. So we have got 1 and 15/16, so that's our bit here, and we've got to add 13/16 again and our 6/16, and we need that for the other side as well. So our 13/16 and our 6/16. So again, we're working in all 16, so we can ignore the bottom. Again, we've got 13, add our 6, which makes 19. So if we pinch 2 off here, so that will make that 13 in the middle. We're going to make that 20, and we're going to make that 20. And so then we know we've got 40 there, plus our 13, which is going to be 53 this time. So 53 over 16. Right, now just let me think about this. So if we've got 2 are 32, and if we add 16 to that, that makes it 48. So that makes us 3 whole ones this time. So just double check. I've got to slow down, make sure that I'm right. That's 2, that's 1. Yeah, so that's going to be 3. And 48, that's going to be 5/16 left. Okay, so that's this figure we're joining there. And we had got our 1 from here. So let's make sure, because that was to do with our other one, wasn't it? So we should have 4 and 5. Let's see, that's definitely 4 adding on to that, so 5/16. Let's see whether that makes sense. That would make it almost square. I've gone wrong somewhere. Let me double check. Where's my figures in this? Because that has come to the same width. Oh yes, that's okay. Yeah, I'm more confident now because, oh no, that can't be right, because it can't be the same width, can it? Because it's not giving that height. So where have I gone wrong? So let's just restart it down here. So we've worked out, I'm confident that the top is right, because that has given us 1 inch extra, and I'm confident that that's probably right now. 34 and 13/16 by so I just want to redo those figures again just to make sure. So our width here is 1 and 15/16, so that's definitely the width we want. We've got to add 13/16 to that, and we've got to add 6/16 to that, so that's correct. And we've also, again, the other side, we've got 13/16 and we've got 6/16. So that's definitely right, because we've added those. Right, and that's definitely 19. And if we take 2 from those, which leaves us 13 there, that definitely makes us 20 that side, 20 that side. And the 20, add 20 is 40. That's definitely 53/16. And that definitely will make 3, because 3/16 are 48, and that definitely leaves us 5 remaining. So that should be 5/16. And it's only 1 there that we add in. So that should be 4 and 5/16. Right, I'm just going to risk it and see what happens, see if I have gone wrong. So now we know that one side's got to be that, and the other side has got to be 4 and 13/16. Is that right? Did we get that right? 4 and, so that's 2 we had to add on to 45/16. That was right, wasn't it? So the 45/16 left us 2 and 13/16. So that was definitely, so we'll go So that to me is, we've got to have a piece of paper that's 4 and 13/16 by 5 and 16. So we'll risk it. Okay, right, here we go then. So we've got 4 and 13/16. So again, put it in at your 4 and 12/16, and then just move it along. So that makes your 13/16 there. So there we go. And we'll chop that. Move that out of the way. Then we're going to spin it round, and it's going to be 4 and 5/16. So if 4 and 4/16, move it along 5/16. Okay. Oh, now we're running out of power on my phone. Just bear with me. I'll just plug my phone back in and the light will come back up. There we go. Okay, so here we go again. Let's hope that this one works out now. So now we discovered we want the 6/16 on the outside, which 6/16 is did I say that was 3/8? Yeah, I said that was 3/8. So we want to score it. So that was correct. 3/8 on every side. So 3/8 on every side. So let's do that. 3/8 on every side. Yes, on every side. Okay, last one. 3/8. Okay, now this is where we can't just go to 13/16 because we are adding those two together to score. So if we've got 19/16, we have actually got 16/16 and another 3, 1, 2, 3 to actually do the scoring. So that is actually 1 and 1, 2, 3/16. So that needs to be 1 and 3/16. So we've actually scored at 3/8, and the next score is 1 and 3/16. So we're going to do 1 and 1, 2, 3/16, and we're going to score 1 and 3/16, 1, 2, 3, and then the next one, 1 and 3/16. So 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let me have a check. Oh, that's looking good. That's looking good. Right, sorry about that. That looks as though it's correct now. So again, we're just going to burnish all our score lines. Sometimes I burnish my score lines then cut. Sometimes I cut and then burnish, but we'll burnish my score lines today so that I've got that done first. Okay, and then you'll see me do my windmill again. There we go. Let's see the score line there. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope you can see now how designers do them. So what I'm going to do, cut up the score line. I'm going to wedge that first part. So I've wedged just that part. Then I'm going to come in and wedge the part of what's going to be the tab. I'm going to wedge the second part. So turn it around, cut off the tab, and then I will wedge this only down to the first score line. Let's get rid of that. So wedge to that. Then I'll wedge down to the first score line, but then cut straight down Then come in again and cut your wedge for your tab. I'm then going to wedge it at the other side, so you cut in through the first score line down to the second, cut off, turn it around, wedge it and cut that off. Okay, and then we're going to wedge to the first score line, cut straight down. It's important because this is the edge of your box that part is straight. Then you're going to cut down to the side and wedge, cut off that tab, turn it around, cut down to the wedge, then wedge down to the first score line, but then cut down straight to the second score line, go in again, wedge that knot. Then we're going to cut this and cut that off there, turn it around, and then we've got that. Okay, I'm just fearing that this looks on the tall side. I think, no, it is right. Phew. Because I don't want to make any more mistakes. As I say, this is what we do. We make the mistakes and then we get it right, and then you're good to go with the finished. What I will actually do, because obviously the first part of the video I went wrong. I don't know how to edit it to be able to cut off that, unfortunately. So what I'll probably do for this video is I will put the measurements in the description, and I might actually look how far you have to fast forward so that you get the right bit. But I mean, there was nothing wrong apart from I got something went wrong in the making up of it. I think the score lines, must have done something with the score lines, because the measurements are right on that part. It's just not for the draw bit. I seem to have got it wrong, but now you've seen how I design. So I hope you found that informative, because once you have got that, that means that you can make any box any size, because you understand the principle of actually making boxes. So oops, don't do it on the wrong side. And you can just go from there, and whatever size you want to design, you can design as easy as anything, because you've got the know-how. It's really, you're just taking it under 1/16. All you've got to do is take it under 1/16, and that will enable you to make a lid for any box. So I've really learned my learning of box making from people like Positive Papercraft. I've done Positive Papercraft. There used to be Linda Parker, Sam Hammond, Pootles. All these people I followed for a few years now, and once you understand what they're doing, you can then start designing things on your own. So that's how I've done it, being able to understand what they're doing and how their design. I mean, I don't know what Sam sits down and does, how she sits down and designs all the bags she's making, or boxes. 3D projects are my thing. I really love making, well, 3D cards as well. I really love making 3D cards and 3D boxes. And if you you're a regular follower of me, you'll have seen my latest 2 designs, the treat box card. So I've done things like this particular sort of thing in the past, but I've now pushed it to the next level with making a drawer to fit in it and the tea light that will go on the top. Right, so I'm going to leave this box now to dry. I'm very sorry about that, but I will design. I never waste anything, so this won't be wasted. So I might even see if I can redesign something with this, but it's never wasted with me. Right, so let's get on and do a little bit of designing with this now. Oh, I've got this piece to do as well. So we have got a piece for the front, and that measures, I'm not going to tempt fate here, I'm going to measure it. That's 3 3/8 by that's 8 9/16. Am I right? DSP. Don't think I've wrote that for the front, the back. Is it 5/8? 5/8, that's it. That's where that measurement is. And that is my, let's just check again, 1 3/8. Yeah, 1 3/8 by 5/8. So I'm gonna have to go through. I sometimes go through my videos and listen to myself at what measurements so that I can write them down and then put them on. So that's it so far. Okay, so I've got a tea light that now, this is from Hobbycraft, this tea light. That fits through and will drop like that. So when I actually did it, I thought it was a tighter fit than that. But what I'm going to do, I was going to do anyway. So hopefully this will work. So I get a piece of red liner tape and decide where I want the tea light to fit. So I'm thinking I want my tea light to fit. So it goes through a bit, but it's going to sit about there. Then I get the red liner tape and I just put it along, and we've got to try and keep it straight. So you do your best to keep it straight. And I'm going to fetch this off. I know this is the kind of like the kite mark and the standard mark, but it's going to mess up my thing. Oh, that's peeled a bit of the gold off. That's not very good. It will be underneath that bit though. So I'm going to keep going around with my red liner tape till I meet up. And hopefully I've got that straight, which that looks more or less straight. And then I'll just nip that off with my scissors. Thank you. There we go. And just really press that down a bit and then take this off. And then I've got this lovely ribbon that's only available online. It's the gold and silver trim, 1/8. And I want to colour coordinate, so I'm going to go for the silver. So we're going to, whoops. That's the, it doesn't really matter actually. Which way round. So I'm going to go to where I stopped and started my liner tape, and I'm just going to follow it round, and this will just then stick to my tea light. Okay, there we go, and snip it with my best scissors now, and then just give it a good press round, and that hopefully will now hold that tea light so it doesn't fall through. So when the recipient's eaten what you've put in the drawer, that will not spoil because it will be like that. Okay, so just take that out, and that's looking pretty with its ribbon round. I am going to put it this way so that you can see. Now, I have already done the Merry Christmas, and the Merry Christmas is For Unto Us, which is still available in the catalogue. And I've cut out some of these lovely sprigs from the Counting, is it called Counting Daisies, something like that it's called. It's in the catalogue anyway. It's in the annual catalogue. And when I saw this set with the daisies, I just love this set. I thought this sprig is the sprig for me. That's going to be lovely for winter, as well as the foliage for the actual set. And I'm going to just put this top and bottom, so I'm going to arrange it so that it's coming out there. I'll just put that down like that. Then I am actually going to put the Merry Christmas. I think I'll have to put it up on dimensional, so I'm going to put the Merry Christmas. So as I say, I used the Stylish Shapes. I think they're lovely, the Stylish Shapes. There we go. We're going to put that, and I'm going to put it at an angle. So that's going to go at an angle there. Just going to again just pop this in, and that doesn't interfere with you seeing the Merry Christmas. So you're seeing the Merry Christmas there. And I also did, and I think I might put these on as well. The actual layering leaves, there's a punch, and I think I might just do that on the top actually. Let me see. Or do I want some going on the bottom? I'm going to cut a little bit off actually. So let's cut that down a little bit. So this layering leaf punch, it was Stamp Your Art Out. She's done the stamp set. It's a beautiful stamp set to go with these layering leaves. So I just think it's absolutely wonderful. As soon as I saw the punch, I thought, oh yes, definitely. It's gonna, I think I'm going to cut that even smaller so that it just pokes out at the bottom. Yeah, so I'm gonna just put a bit of glue on. So I've cut it right down there, and that's going to go in the bottom there. And then this one I just cut out with DSP, so because it just gave it that little bit of something with the DSP being as you can see, it's a very old Celebration paper. It's just giving it a little bit of something there. And then I had to use these, I'm afraid. These sprigs, you get a lot in different sets. This is from the Poinsettia Petals, but you do get and I'm going to actually tuck these under there in the background, so that can go down there. And those two that I cut off, what have I done with them, because I want them for the bottom bit. They've flicked off somewhere. I will find them, and they're going to place at the bottom, but I often find that I get on and do something and then they appear, so hopefully they will appear. And I've also cut out ready, there's lots of poinsettia petal. This is the tiny one. There's lots of the poinsettia petal, poinsettias I'm meaning. There's lots of those in the catalogue. You can stamp them, so you don't have to cut them out. I just like to just do that, and I'm going to glue these together. Oh, can see them now. I told you they'd turn up. You probably were shouting, there, you dropped them there. So that's going to go together there. I've just got another 2 that I'm going to do. No. No. And then just bend it up so that giving it plenty of shape. So I like to make them not look flat, and again I'm just going to do that. There we go. And I thought I'd wanted to wait really. I'd like to put things together on camera for you to see, but sometimes it's just easier because it messes you about because the glue's not dried, to do them before you come on. So I often do that. Right, now I've got this little bit. While those 2 are drying a little bit, I'm going to pop this here. There you go. I've flicked it. There we go. I was hoping that those pieces that I cut off the other day when I was doing that other ornament that I made, I was hoping that that would fit, but it didn't work out. So there we go. And I want to stick these, spinning again. I want to stick those off the Merry Christmas there. So I'm going to get my dimensionals, and I might have to just cut into these, so because I don't quite want full size one. I should really get my minis out, but I didn't think to get them out, thinking yeah, I need the minis, and didn't get them. So I'm going to put that coming off. It's looking actually as though I need to, so because it's rather is it that I've got it on the top. Just get that back on there a minute. Having one of those days today. There. That's better. I want it to come off. That's better. Right, now I can stick that on there. Come on. Don't want to stick. Put that on the back. Then I want that to come in the bottom. Will it work? Should have perhaps done it. Can come off a bit more actually. I'll do that in. There we go. There, and I want to put something in the middle of there. So where have I got some gems right before my eyes? So let's get some fin. What should we put? I'm going to put some yellow, I think. So I've got some yellow. Let's put some yellow in the middle. So start with, I wonder if just leaving one, because that does look rather nice. Might just leave one in the middle like that. That's nice. Okay, now on the top we've got, of course, the candle going in there, and I wondered if this was a bit bare, and I was wondering whether I ought to stick some holly on here, but actually I might put some holly on the front instead. Yeah, I think I will. So I'm going to stick some holly. So there's lots of tiny hollies, again in sets. Sweet Little Stockings got some tiny holly in, and I don't know whether there's any other sets. Oh, come on. Or not. And I like just to stick some. Come on. Oh, got some hair along with that. Come on off. There. Oh, there's that gone. Oh, that's gone onto the, flicked onto my poinsettia. Get off. That's it. Like, put a couple and then one down below. I often change the colour of these and colour them with cherry cobbler, because that makes a really nice red. Even if they're red to start with, putting your cherry cobbler, they don't want to play. Is that right? Let's have a look. We can do that one going. That one and that one. Breaking the rule here because I'm putting, spin that around because I want that way. Come on, behave yourself. This red and green card, I can't believe I bought this red and green card last year. I might have paid full price for it. I can't remember, or whether it did go into clearance. I'm not really sure, but I'm just amazed at how far, because it is expensive when you buy the foils. But I've been amazed at how many projects I've done with it, and yet I've still got loads and loads left. It's just wonderful. Loads and loads left. Oh, I do want to mess about now. There. So that's going on the front there. Right, so let's just remove this a minute and bring in the drawer. Right, let's get these pegs off. Just get them out of the way. So this will make for a solid box now. And what I have actually got is a very narrow hole punch. It's not Stampin' Up. I don't know. Oh, I want to stick these. Now I did these for that other box look. So they go there. So we'll cut some more of those. Right. So my box width is 1 and... what was it? It was in 16ths, weren't it? 1 and 15/16 in width. Got some gems coming off all over the place. So I want to put that on, and this is how I'll work out the size of DSP now. So the width of my box is 1 and 15/16 there, and I want to take off, just double checking, 2 of the 16s. So I'll go back 1, 2. Okay, and then there we go. That doesn't look wide enough, is it? Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. And then my box height is 13/16. So if we go 13/16, so where are we? 13/16, so that's 12, 13, and we take it back 2, 1, 2. And that's how I work out my DSP as well, because I just want to make it 1/8 of an inch smaller, which is 2/16. So get that there. So do that again. Okay, put those, move that out of the way. and then we're going to glue one to the front. And then what I do is I put this in the cellophane bags. So we did some with the Santa, some bags, and you can get the cellophane bags, but I'm not sure whether you can get the ones that I've got, which is a shame because they were doing them and you could buy the Santa labels with those at the same time. So choose whichever you feel is your best one, which I think is this one. I'm going to go in with my hole punch and I'm just going to eyeball it to the middle either side, so just a fraction more that way, and I've got it about there. And then I'm using our brads, or square and round brads. So I'm going to fetch one off there. I think I'm going to do it in black because I want it to show up, and I'm going to choose a bigger one so it's nice to grasp hold of, and then just open the split pin up. Now sometimes I line the boxes. You could still line it. I'm going to spin it a bit so it's facing the right way, so that will pull out. Actually, I think I might want to line it. Where did I bring that out? I've got it out somewhere, haven't I? It's here. So you could line it. Let's have a look, see if I've got a big enough piece. How much would that come up? I want it a bit wider than that, actually, I think. I don't want to break into a wider piece. No. So I'm into lining it. You've seen my boxes that I've just made. I'm into lining them. Oh, let's see if I could get. Oh, yes. That looks as though I can line it with that. Right, now, this is the way I work this out now. You may as well have my whole design process. Where's my pencil gone? Okay, so we want to know the inside of the box, which the box measured 2 7/16 going. Now we're going to hold the box that way, so that's front to back because that's the longest side, and then going across the width is 1 15/16. And I just want to come up, I want to definitely cover that brad, but I don't want it to go all the way to the top, so I want it to be about, I think I will go for 3/4 of an inch. We'll risk it. 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch there, 3/4 of an inch here. So of course it's got to be all over this, but we need to put 3/4 of an inch in 16. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, of course it's 12/16, so that it becomes 12/16. So we've got to do 12/16 added 2 and 12/16, so we've got to have 2 lots, 12/16, because that's either side, remember, and the width of it is 1 15/16, so that's 24. Add my 15, so I'm being lazy now, can't be bothered to work it out, 39/16. So that is 7/16 remainder, because I've got 2 whole ones. So that makes, that one there makes it 3 7/16. So I want 3 7/16, and that is not the biggest piece, is it? 3 7/16, so that's going to be there. It's not going to work out this piece, I don't think. Can't have it as wide as that then. So let's just do that then. So 3 7/16, so on 3 7/16, just double check, 24 of 15, 39, that made it 2, and that's 1 on that. Yeah, 3 7/16 by, and we've got to do 24 again of 16s, because that's those 2 added to our 2 7/16. So 24 add 7 is 31. So 31, oh look at that, it's just under, isn't it? So that will be 1 15/16 added to our, don't get it, okay, to our 2. So that's 3, I think I'm right, 3 15/16. So hopefully that's right. So I'm not going to double check that, I'm just going to go for it. So that's, I'm going to need a bigger piece. I'm going to get it. I'll do the same as I've got. I think I've got a whole piece. Yeah, I have. So I'm going to make that. So let's just bring that in. Hopefully I've worked it out. So that's 3 7/16. That's the width. Yeah, 3 7/16. So 3 8/16 is the middle, coming back 1. Let's cut that. And then we want by 3 15/16. So that's taking it back 1 from the 4. And then we've got that. And then I just did it. What did I say? I'd done it 12/16, which was 3/4. So I'm just going to take it to the 3/4 and just do 3/4 on all 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to see, I'm just feeling that that's a bit, I'm just going to, that might be right. Okay, so all 4 sides, only going to do it lightly fold, and then all I do this time, I'll show you on the other side, I just wedge. So don't cut it straight, I wedge either side. So I'm cutting a wedge like that, and again a wedge and a wedge. I just cut too much off there. So don't cut as, don't be too generous, so go closer. The closer you can go with the wedge, it will work better. So don't go too far like I did on one of them. Just do a slight wedge, and then just slot that in. Just push it down. Okay, push it down, and just taking your bone folder, just push it down. I seem to have got that on that side. I don't know, my thing must have been out, my cutting must have been out, because that is just fraction too long, so I'm just going to go along and just take fraction off that. I must have been just that fraction out with that cutting. So put it back in, just work that out and down. Oh, that looks a fraction. In the grand scheme of things, this is not really going to show very much. I must have been just out a little bit. Let's push it back in. Now it's a tight fit, but it just, and then I just get my glue, just pop that in there. Just go down with your bone folder, bring it forward. Just, you don't need to do the bottom because it's such a tight fit, and once you've glued the sides it won't move anyway. So just glue each of those sides like that, and that of course hides our brad now as well. So just going to go in with that and go there, and then this is going to sit in here. Come on, it's a tight fit so it won't keep coming out. So that fits in. It's not properly glued because I'm there. Right, so that will fit there. So you've got the drawer handle to be able to pull that out now and slot that in. That is very tight, but that will hold in place. Right, then I'm going to stick several of these in there. I think I can get another one. So you've got your lint balls. So this will just sit a little bit proud until those balls are taken out. But once those balls are taken out, you're fitting 6 lint balls in there. So take those out. I'm just gonna give it a bit of a just make it fit that bit better. So 6 little lint balls. You've got your tea light on the top, so that makes a lovely little decoration. When the recipient has eaten the lint balls, let's just tip those out on the neck. So obviously that would fall down if you hadn't got your ribbon to support that. So, but it will depend on your tea light, so make sure that you measure your tea light so that you get the right measurements for the hole. As I say, this is a Hobbycraft tea light. They do differ. So I don't know whether I've got any hand to hand, I don't think I have, Dunelm's tea lights as well. The last thing that I did, I worked out with the Dunelm tea light, and that was slightly different. If you do it so that it's going to fall through, wrap a double layer of ribbon on it. Just put some extra tape on and a double layer of ribbon, and that will do. But I hope you like that. Please give me a thumbs up if you do like it. Thank you so much for bearing with me in my mistakes, but I hope you felt it was worth it in the end because you liked what I created and shown you how to make that as a treat box. Now I'll just quickly show you how I will present that. So these were called printed cellophane gusset bags that Stampin' Up did, and I will just pop that in there so that hopefully will fit in all right. So that goes in the bottom. Opened it up very much. So I just tend to work those down to the bottom. So it goes to the bottom, and then I just tend to punch that up tie the ribbon round it with a lovely tags. What have I done with my tags? Oh, here. So I'd have a tag with the ribbon on. So I think that makes a lovely gift to give somebody this Christmas, that you just want to give them a little gift, nice for neighbours and things like that. So thank you very much for watching. As I say, it fits 6 of the mini lint balls in, so it's just a nice treat. So thank you so much. Do appreciate that, as I say, that you've bared with me, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay well, take care for now. Bye.